Welcome to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. My name is Kaia Ra, and I am the international bestselling author of the Sophia Code. And I lead an international movement for activating the sovereign divinity of humanity with this sacred text for our modern times, the Sophia Code. This is it's a book. There's two covers and a couple hundred pages in between those two covers, but the Sophia Code, as many of you know, is actually a living transmission and a sacred text of divine feminine Christ revelations for our times. We also include divine masculine revelations from Ascended Masters Jesus, Maha-Avatar Babaji, and more to be revealed in future books in this series. However, we are focusing on divine feminine Christ consciousness in this introductory volume because humanity is in such desperate need of returning to the Divine Mother, of feeling the Sacred Heart and the unconditionally loving embrace of our one source mother. Our deepest psychological wound actually doesn't come from the patriarchy. It comes from the patriarchy separating us from this source of our one divine mother, creatrix of all life. If we as a species can resolve our direct relationship with the Holy Mother, it is actually possible for us to understand her relationship with the Holy Father. It will be possible for us to remember a whole and holistic way of relating to the divine masculine through the receptive divine feminine intelligence that exists within each of us. I want to welcome those of you who are new to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. I know those are some very spiritual terms, and if none of that made any sense, maybe this is the first time you're hearing any of that, it's just not a problem. What we do is we gather as a prayer collective once a month, and we've been doing it for years now together as an international community. And we gather together to learn from the teachings of the Sophia Code, to spend time with the Ascended Master Mentors, to receive their quantum healing empowerments, to allow them to activate our DNA, our what we call the divine genome in the Sophia Code. And most importantly, to honor our very heroic human journey. To be human at this time on the planet, and really over the past 2,000 years, has been truly a heroic feat for many of us. And it's important at this time that you honor that your journey is actually heroic. There's an interesting message. There are many interesting messages that Mother Mary wants for me to share with us in today's prayer collective call. But for those of you who are new, it's just important to understand that all names of God are welcome here. We happen to call the Divine Mother aspect of God Sophia in the Sophia Code, but all names of the Divine Mother are welcome here. We do not believe Sophia is an archon or an entity. We use that name in reference to her as the divine feminine presence and primordial womb of all of creation, as well as the light arising from that primordial void or nothingness that is her sacred heart from which all life arises. We also mentor with Ascended Masters that Sophia has gathered together as her High Council for this particular transmission, living transmission of the Sophia Code. And this High Council is called the Sophia Dragon Tribe. And you can read all about them in the Sophia Code. We also have a modern mystery school with three, I count them, three university level curriculum courses called the Stargate 1, the Stargate 2 curriculum, and then we have Sophia Circle Leadership Certification. And that program is starting this August 19th. And we just sent out an email sharing this beautiful roundtable that we just did with the Sophia Circle leaders that are graduates from last year's program. We contacted some of our leaders and invited them to be a part of this video. And so if you're not on our email list, be sure to sign up at kaira.com to get access to that video. I had tears in my eyes almost throughout the entire time in reviewing each of our leaders, because the Sophia Circle Journey Ministry is really lighting up hearts and minds across the world. And to see our leaders thriving and in their service and in their offering of Sophia Christ consciousness through the Sophia Circle Ministry. It's just very, very special to bear witness to, and it's really exciting news for our international movement. So why share about that? Well, I can't think of a more important time for us to collectively be activating the sovereign divinity of humanity. And Mother Mary is our overriding mentor for today's prayer collective call, and she has some messages to share with us about that. I was actually kind of sitting in her Sacred Heart Flame activations prior to this call, writing down some of the notes that she wanted me to share about today. And I thought, oh my God, I better go put that new Sacred Heart Flame pendant over my heart while Mother Mary's blasting me this much with her message. So for those of you who have been waiting to know when you can actually see and make your order for the new Jesus Sacred Heart amulet that you've seen me wear on YouTube Live, is now available on my website. Also, the sophiacodejewelry.com. And you can just reach out to our team angels as well, and they're happy to direct you. And we're going to really receive some very powerful healing. It's primarily Mother Mary is going to be guiding and leading this quantum healing journey, but we're also going to be working with Isis and her very powerful wings of healing. As many of you know, Mother Mary was quite an initiate of both Isis and Hathor teachings. And she traveled to Egypt many times for her training, including to protect the life of her son Jesus when there was an order to kill him by the king. And she hid in Europe, in Egypt with her son Jesus for several years before returning to her homeland. And so Egypt, between Mary Magdalene's training in Egypt and Mother Mary's training in Egypt, the Egyptian Keycodes really had such a strong impact on Mother Mary's consciousness. And for those of you who are new to the Mother Mary that we meet in the Sophia Code, free of religious context, and really honoring of her as a spiritual hero, way shower, Christ figure in her own right. When we meet Mother Mary, we meet an edge to Mother Mary that's very firm. And if you want to know where that tough love, firm edge comes with Mother Mary, it's from Isis. It's from all of her Isis training in Egypt. Isis knew the impact of Hathor's teachings, how multidimensional they were. And so Isis developed a system in her mystery school container where there was a lot of rigorous training so that her initiates could learn how to tap into the Hathor teachings and keep both their feet on the ground and stay very, very embodied in how much they were channeling and how many dimensional realities they were accessing at the same time. Most people, when they start to tune into another resonance of reality, they just fly off like a kite out of their body. And when you are mentoring with Mother Mary and Isis, they are continually asking you to pin yourself back into your body, please, and to be very grounded in your connection to God and your connection to your higher self and your connection to your divine purpose, because we are the boots on the ground's earth angels. We are the angels that descended from heaven across the cosmos. Many of you are star seeds and galactically inclined, and maybe this earth doesn't feel like your first home. I know I've incarnated here many times, and earth has never completely felt like my first home ever. So you're in good company if you've often wondered if the spaceship dropped you off on the wrong planet. The spaceship did not drop you off on the wrong planet, because there are no accidents like that in this universe. If you have won the golden ticket of a human body on this planet, that means you are enrolled in a Harvard University soul evolutionary school, ascension studies here on Mother Earth, so also known as Sophia Gaia in the Sophia Code. And it's important to remember that you signed up for advanced coursework by choosing this particular lifetime, wherever you are at generationally, in regards to this lifetime and in regards to these current events. Your soul chose all of the coordinates and all of the details for being here. And that's not always easy to be with. As many of you know, I'm a survivor of 18 years of atrocities, and it's taken me a lifetime to really reconcile with my decision before I ever came into this human body to decide that to make the choices that I did, to survive what I did, and then to go on and create what I have. Interestingly enough, I often reflect that what I have managed to birth and create in this world is almost just as challenging as what I've survived, because of the enormous amount of responsibilities that come with channeling a codex and a mystery school of this much global impact. And so I've sat a long time with myself and my choice to come in this lifetime, just as I'm sure you've asked yourself many times, why am I here? And, you know, did I really want this? And with what I love about mentoring with Mother Mary is that you get to have all of your feelings with Mother Mary. She's not going to begrudge you a single feeling. You can reach out to her arms, you can cry your heart out, you can yell at the top of your lungs, you can, just curl up in her arms and in her embrace, and she's going to be there for you every step of the way, really embracing you in a way that maybe you've wanted to be embraced your entire life. When I was channeling the Sophia Code, I actually at one point stopped channeling all of their Keycode mentors, and I just sat at Mother Mary's altar for 2 years, every single day, sometimes up to 10 hours a day. That's how much time I spent with Mother Mary. It's kind of even strange talking about it out loud, because it took me so deeply into the mysteries and into her presence and into the Divine Mother's presence. And what I discovered in the presence of Mother Mary is that there is, along with Kuan Yin, there's no wound that we can't heal. And we do have the strength and the courage within us. If we're willing to dig deep enough within us, we do have access to the courage and strength that we need to fulfill our divine purpose in this lifetime. However, whatever roles you came to play, whatever divine coordinates you're here to connect with others and be of service to others, it's all for one reason in this lifetime. It all comes down to this. It comes down to mirroring through Sophia Christ consciousness, also known as Buddha consciousness, from your heart and your eyes and your actions and your words, mirroring to others the truth of their sovereign divinity, because you have remembered the truth of your sovereign divinity. You can help others remember this without a single word. One of the ways that we teach in the Sophia Code Mystery School that you can practice being a way shower is by abstaining from codependent behavior and relationships, by abstaining from addictions and addictive behaviors, by abstaining from treating people like objects, from abstaining from how do I say this? Like, what exactly what else do you want me to share about this? Thank you. By abstaining from minimizing the depth of your impact in this world, and by abstaining from abandoning yourself and sabotaging yourself in this lifetime. This particular year, it's very, very, very important to understand that there is a global war for your mind that's being waged on every front of this planet. There is no part of this planet that's not being affected. There are no people on this planet that are not being affected by this global war. Everything that you are seeing in the media, be very, 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 very careful. Even with the people who are advocating and advocates for different causes or belief systems, be very, very, very careful. because a lot of these very well-meaning advocates and teachers and activists are actually being spun up into the same weird divided fury that is politicizing our divide. It is separating us from each other. It is causing us to shame ourselves in ways that is unnecessary and actually quite harmful unconsciously. So in 2020, this is the year to discover the incredible strength that you have to focus upon what you know is real for you in your connection to God, the light, your guardian angels, embodying your higher self, and mentoring with the ascended masters to live completely in your sovereignty. Everything that's happening right now is a massive hurricane, tsunami storm to distract you from empowering yourself and to keep you anxious, worried, and enraged. And this system is working on some of our even most intelligent and brightest minds out there in spiritual leadership. And you've got to understand that it's up to you to stay very calm, balanced, clear, and discerning in all ways. In this year in particular, I'm going to share some of the messages from Mother Mary that were coming through before this call, and we're going to pray about this, and we're going to receive healing within the Temple of Sophia from Mother Mary and Isis. But I wanted to share these important messages because Mother Mary has such a heart for all of humanity, and she has such a heart for those who are mentoring with her. She doesn't want you to needlessly suffer. That doesn't mean she feels you have to skip your creative growth edges or your creative, the inner vulnerable growth edges that we all need to commit to, but she doesn't want you to unnecessarily suffer for the insanity of this world. She doesn't want you to suffer at all. And so today is about reframing how intense it is here in the US and also worldwide, because this is actually a global war that's happening. What's happening at this moment is that what's been roosting worldwide as global tyranny worldwide has now come home to roost in its own nest. So ironically, what's unfolding in the US is simply unifying the US with events that have been happening worldwide for decades. Now we all understand the depth of tyranny. It's no longer being hidden. It's all out in the open. And so it's important for us to understand the mentoring with the Ascended Masters, activating our sovereign divinity, practicing how to embody our sovereign divinity has never been more important. Because once you divide the hearts and minds of the people, the next step is to beat them down into the next level belief system of unworthiness, low self-esteem, depression, suicidal thoughts. And with a lot of the external circumstances, so many people losing their jobs, financial markets having such a challenging time, so many things being exposed that really are just disheartening to so many people, between the countless murders, the rapes, the child trafficking. Like anywhere you look, it's so easy to feel your soul just want to collapse like a house of cards. But what Mother Mary is saying, we must stand as the foundation of God in human form on behalf of countless souls that are grappling with outrageous amounts of fear and anxiety. And it's totally appropriate because they have no context for how to critically think for themselves. One of my mentors told me, Kaia, do you understand that 97% of humanity doesn't actually know how to think their own thoughts? And I just sat there for about a minute without saying anything because the thought went so far into me in the resonance of truth, because it really was that true, that most of humanity has been so conditioned and enslaved in its mind that it has forgotten how to critically think for itself. It has been so abused. There's a whole healing journey that humanity needs to go on over the next couple hundred years, really over the next 1,000 years, to unravel what's happened to us as a species. You and I are at the very forefront, the leading edge of supporting humanity to step into the light of its sovereign divinity and to consider that that is its true worth. Not what it can buy, not what it can achieve, not what it can produce, but who we already are as children of the Most High, daughters and sons of the Most High, as Isis teaches us in the Sophia Code. We are each Christed beings, but most of humanity acts as though it is a slave. And so that's what Jesus was sharing about in the parable of the prodigal son. When the prodigal son returns to his father's mansion, he's so afraid. He's been sleeping with pigs. He's been eating roots and garbage to stay alive. He's so afraid to return to his father's house because he thinks his father is going to judge him for leaving. And his father literally runs out into the fields with tears streaming down his face, his arms wide open, embraces his son who's been sleeping with pigs, completely crushing him with this hug of divine love, welcoming him back home. This is a parable and an allegory for how much the Divine Mother and the Divine Father love you. Why was the prodigal son wrong? Was he wrong? He wasn't wrong. He just was confused. He thought he had to go search outside of himself for his divine inheritance. The wealth of his father, the castle of his father, that represents your divine inheritance as a sovereign divine being, your perfection and your holiness that cannot be earned or achieved. And when you start to approach life from the perspective of your sovereign divinity, of your sovereign Christ light or Buddha light, whatever you want to call that light, that source light within you, you start to see this matrix for what it is. You start to see these dark agendas for what they are. Further, you start to access the divine power that comes with your unlimited sovereign divinity, so that you can actually access the ideas, the courage, the willpower, and the resources to create beyond this global war. It's possible. I know it's possible because I've done it myself for this movement. You can create beyond the laws of form while you are in form. But you can only do it by remaining focused on your own sovereign Christ light. Does that mean your life is going to change instantaneously? No, because what happens is when you start operating your consciousness according to this divine genome with the assistance of all these masters of light around you, what's going to happen is you're going to progress. It's like when somebody comes in to clean your house. It's just like, if it's been a mess for a really long time and there are layers and layers of dirt and neglect and things that haven't been taken care of for a long time, there's a whole process of repair that needs to go into cleaning or maybe even remodeling that house. Maybe there's parts of the house that need to be completely taken down and rebuilt. And over time, as you watch this process of the divine genome rebuilding you from the inside out, you start to notice, wow, I'm making better decisions. Man, I'm still struggling in this one area of my life, but these other areas of my life are starting to come online. Maybe I'm going to start to trust that that other area of my life is going to come online as well. Because you're committing every day to focusing on that light within you and listening to that light. That light of your divinity, of your higher self, is the spirit of discernment. It's also your navigation system. It lets your body know very viscerally when you come into contact with someone or something or some opportunity that's not for you. And it also lets you know through a very magnetic quality in your body when you've come into contact with something or someone that is right for you and that you should act on it immediately. Part of what we are deprogramming from the deep state and from just 2,000 years of patriarchal agendas is the reclamation of our divine feminine intuition, our body, the voice of our body, the voice of our hearts, the voice of our mind that can be in service to the voice of our heart and the voice of our body, the voice of our higher self speaking through all three of those aspects of our human experience, body, heart, and mind. Your emotions are information, and your emotions, all of our emotions, are being played upon by these systems. For many people, it's very easy. They see something, as soon as they see it, they're freaking on fire, making all sorts of decisions that maybe a month or two later, they're like, why did I even react that way? This is not the time to be reactive. This is the time to spiritually mature. Now, I know for myself, in the past few years of having to run an international movement, I've had to grow up really fast in ways that I wasn't even expecting, ways I didn't even know I needed to spiritually mature. There were too many to count. But thank God I was humble enough to actually listen and do the work and be guided and take the medicine of the Ascended Masters and how they were showing me again and again, hey, you can grow here. Hey, you can grow over here. Hey, if you grow here, you'll be able to grow more over there. What do you think? Give it a try. And so I'd like to invoke our Circle of Divine Feminine Christ Mentors, the Ascended Master Keycodes revealed in Section 2, the Sophia Code, for us to really feel the presence of what it's like to be in the presence of their sovereign divinity, mirroring to us, magnifying back to us the truth of our own. And what an incredible impact. So if you're surrounded by these 8 key codes that are completely embodying their sovereignty, unmoved by the rising and falling phenomena of this world, and then you feel the impact of them supporting you in all 8 directions, surrounding you in this beautiful Christ light, circle of Christ light. Imagine what happens when you are that same embodiment here in this world. Imagine what happens when we are all in those same embodiments working together in this world. Imagine what happens when one Sophia Circle leader embodying that much Christ light then opens up their home, opens up a space, a sacred space, whether it's virtually or in person, depending on the situation. And then all of those other individuals go on the same journey through the Sophia Code to embody their Christ light. Although we would like to fantasize that a planetary ascension can somehow overlook the awakening of everyone, it's not possible. Sophia God would never leave anyone behind. We must all activate and awaken together. And the more we activate and awaken together, the more we cast off the need for learning about our sovereign divine light from so much tragedy and suffering and evil. Because that's what's happening right now. The depth of evil that we are seeing on this planet is actually causing people to desperately seek the light. Because we live in a world addicted to duality, we are currently seeing an enormous amount of dark agendas that are actually spurring forward the awakening of human beings that haven't even considered what's spiritually inside of them, maybe for the first time in their life. This is why I believe so much in Sophia Circle leadership. I want as many people as possible to get access to Sophia Code as quickly as possible so that they actually know what's inside of them, an actual divine genome that can be run as a motherboard of consciousness to interface with their human awareness. They are not alone. We are not alone. We're surrounded by these exceptional ascended masters of sovereignty that are protecting us, guiding us and uplifting us to become the masters that we came here to be, just like them, just as they came before us. And so, with that said, let's gather our hearts in prayer and meditation and invocation and in ceremony, and open to the messages of Mother Mary and also to her healing light and to Isis's presence as well, guiding us deeper within to the very halls of our own DNA, to the very center of our own sacred heart, to that very poignant and eternal connection that you have to your divine mother, to your divine father, to the holy source that gave birth to your soul. There's just no person, there's no government, there's no religion, there's no abuse, there's no tragedy that can actually separate you from the source. That's why we say your sovereign divine light is invincible. And at this time, I welcome the fullness of the Sophia Dragon Tribe High Council of Ascended Masters, who are exceptional teachers and mentors in how we can learn to embody our sovereign divinity as way showers at this time. And in section 2 of the Sophia Code, there are 8 revealed key codes. Mind you, there are countless key codes within the Sophia Dragon Tribe and across this cosmos. But these first 8 key codes represent a motherboard of divine feminine Christ, motherboard of consciousness for activating the sovereign divinity of humanity. And I'd like you to visualize this beautiful circle of light surrounding you. And then to visualize the 8 directions, and you are at the center of that circle. You are at the center of the wheel. So you might see lines of light traveling from your heart to the outer circumference of the circle. And we're going to invoke White Buffalo Woman in the north. In the northeast, we're going to welcome beautiful Isis. In the east, we welcome radiant Hathor. In the southeast, we welcome She of 1,000 Stars, radiant Tara, green Tara. In the south, we welcome She of 1,000 Roses, Keycode 4 of the Sophia Code, Mother Mary. In the southwest, we welcome beautiful Mary Magdalene. In the west, we welcome Kuan Yin. In the northwest, we welcome the Holy Seraphim of Sophia God, the Sophia Dragons. I'd also like to welcome Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gideon Immacuel, Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Shamuel, the Pleiadian Archangels, Syrian Archangels. I'd also like to invoke on an outer ring of light the Order of Sky Grandmothers in the north, along with the White Buffalo Star Nation, Saint Germain of the Violet Flame in the northeast, the Hathor Star Nation in the east, the Order of Dakinis in the southeast, Grandmother Anna supporting Mother Mary, Jesus, Saint Joan of Arc, and the entire Order of Magdalena behind Mary Magdalene, and Mahavatar Babaji as a divine masculine counterpart to Kuan Yin's Keycode 6 transmission in the Sophia Code, She of 1,000 Waters. In the center of that circle, I welcome the presence of your higher self, the beautiful Christ light of your soul that is descending into this world from your own oversoul. Your oversoul is the unlimited hologram of God consciousness that you were birthed to be. It goes on forever. And it's formless. It's the light and the nothing. It doesn't have any form. Your oversoul descends into different planetary matrices through different incarnations of your higher self. So your higher self is sent as that light that crosses over the threshold into a physical reality and then manifests itself as a human body. So your higher self has come from your oversoul, as Mother Mary describes in her chapter. And it's creating your body right now. Do you know that your body is being held together by the grace of your own divinity? By the very atomic structure of your own higher self's light magnetizing electrons and every other atomic structure that's making up your DNA, and interfacing with Mother Earth's consciousness, like literally as physical as your body feels, you are energy magnetizing and holding itself together through divine love. All of your organs are solidified divine love, solidified through a direct relationship with Mother Earth. So let's not forget to invoke the incredible Christed being of Sophia Gaia, Mother Earth, grounding this transmission and a part of your body. Isn't that interesting? Your body comes from Mother Earth and your soul comes from that one cosmic mother. And then you descend into both of those through your consciousness. Can you feel what a living miracle you are? A miracle in motion. The very mechanics of you breathing in this world is a miracle in motion. And Mother Mary is stepping forward. She's approaching you gently. Her arms are open. Her hands are open. She's wearing these beautiful blue and gold robes today. She's wearing like this sky blue and gold shawl over her hair today. She has this beautiful smile. Oh my God, her countenance is so incredibly comforting. And she's reminding you that if you've been feeling a lot of anxiety and fear that seems to surpass even what you may be feeling about your own life, she's saying it's important to remember that every time you go out and you grocery shop or you do your errands or you go to work during these extreme circumstances that we are facing with the CV, different levels of the CV lockdown worldwide, that you are very, as a sensitive light worker, you are very sensitive to the fears and anxieties and desperation that people are feeling wherever you go. And so if you've been needing to reconnect with that certainty and that confidence of how cared for you are, how loved you are, and you're the certainty that is within you, that you know that God has got you. Sophia, God, Christ, Buddha, whatever you want to call that, your own divinity, your own higher self has got you, that presence that you are. You're welcome to just open your arms and receive a deep embrace from Mother Mary, welcoming you into this space today. You may feel your soul releasing. You may feel your soul crying in Mother Mary's arms. You might just feel yourself softening. For those of you who are like, hug Mother Mary, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. No problem. Remember that we are here to connect with Mother Mary free of religious context. So if you're feeling a little standoffish, that's not a problem. Maybe there's something that happened in this lifetime or another that had nothing to do with Mother Mary, but separated you from her love. It's not a problem. She's got nothing but love for you. And so you can receive that same warm embrace without actually hugging her if you need to. Mother Mary meets us where we're at. I remember for years I had a strong resistance actually to being close to Mother Mary. I felt like a push-pull towards her and away from her. That all changed one night where I spent 9 hours in deep visionary meditation with her. And that's when I realized, oh my God, my fears about being close to Mother Mary have nothing to do with her, it has everything to do with me. So as you're taking in this beautiful warm embrace, I invite you to allow Mother Mary to help guide you up to that 7th plane consciousness where instantaneous miracles and divine knowing exist. I'm going to guide you there if you're unfamiliar with where that place is, but this is the place in the multiverse that is, there's no form. There's only the light and the black nothing, the womb of creation. And we can recreate what we want to visually see there, but you're there because God is only the light and the womb, the nothing. There's nothing. Like when you are going back directly to the source, not the creation of source, that's how you know you made it back there. So let's take a little journey together and make sure that we're all gonna meet there as a Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. It's really important because that's the place that you can be deeply, deeply nourished and refreshed. And remember that everything you need comes from that place, both in the multiverse and within you. This is also a place within you. It doesn't come from the outer world. The outer world is only here as a holographic experience to reflect back to you what you believe. It's important to shift that right now, to keep as a collective, for us to keep pivoting. Right. The outer world is not my source of comfort. It's my connection to source that's my source of comfort. The outer world isn't my source. My connection to source is my source. And everything I need comes from that source if I'm willing to listen and receive and do my part. So Mother Mary is taking you by the hand. She's inviting you to just gather part of your energy above your head and to feel yourself lifting up while maintaining some of your energy in your body, staying very deeply connected to the earth. I want you to travel up, visualizing a column of light that goes up above the ceiling, up into the sky, past the sun, moon, and stars. You're flying with Mother Mary across the sky, past all the planets and all the outer planets and meteorites, and oh, look at all those star nurseries and galaxies going by, and you're going to come to the very edge of that universe, and I'm going to start traveling through different tiers of lights, different worlds of light, through the fourth plane and through the fifth plane. Don't get caught in any of those worlds. They've really nothing to offer you other than they have their worlds, you have yours, and where we need to go is directly to the source. A lot of people who channel get caught up in the lower worlds that are higher, but they're not the source. So keep going, and we're going to hit the sixth plane, and it's called it's where the laws of form are governed from. I need you to travel right through those laws of form like a hot knife through butter, and to visualize a door of light that's opening up right now. And feel yourself flying with Mother Mary through that door of light into an ocean of light. To the seventh plane, you may start to feel your skin tingle, the cells in your body tingling. You may start to feel your body feel lighter, because it's literally connecting with more light. You may feel the electrons in your body starting to orbit faster. And feel yourself just immersed into that ocean of light, like almost just completely dissolve into that light. As though you're swimming underwater, doing maybe somersaults or backflips in the water. It's so buoyant. Maybe it feels like the amniotic fluid of the Holy Mother. And you just feel so loved and cared for and refreshed. Peaceful. Everything makes sense here because everything is divine love here. There's nothing but divine love here. There is nothing but light. There's nothing here but Sophia, Divine Mother, creatrix of all life. And because we are creators, because we have the power of our mind, now we can create as a collective what we need for our initiations with the Ascended Masters from this pure source point of light. We can direct what we want to create and what we need in this space once we firmly connect with it. And so I invite you to visualize. Today we're going into the temple of Isis. Isis has offered to be a part of Mother Mary's healing empowerments today. So I invite you to visualize this beautiful pyramid of light that it's very, very, very large. It reminds me of the Pyramid of Giza, actually. It's that large. But there's nothing. It's all, the walls of the pyramid are made of this crystalline glass, and it has an iridescent rainbow sheen to it. And there are many orbs that are floating within the pyramid, lighting it up. And at the center of the pyramid is a crystalline bed, and there is a beautiful torch of like three sacred flames that are lined up within this the center altar of this pyramid. Isis is standing behind the flames with her wings stretched all the way up to the top of the pyramid. And these three flames are the sapphire blue flame of divine will, the pink flame of divine mother's love, and the golden flame of the ascended master's wisdom. And you're being invited to lay down on that beautiful crystal healing bed with Mother Mary and Isis attending to you. Now, all of your other Keycode mentors are here in the pyramid with you, including lots of divine feminine healing angels. And I invite you to visualize the avatar of your higher self. She or he or they may come in a different form. Maybe you have a different form that's not humanoid, or it could be very angelic, or it could look human. Just who you are in the higher realms. And see that higher self as one of the masters here in the pyramid with you. And your higher self presence is radiating out from that avatar, watching over you. And it's that higher self that's going to be directing the course of this healing with Mother Mary. The first healing that Mother Mary needs for us to address. So I'd like for us to take 3 deep breaths together once you find your way. If you're still getting onto that healing bed, no worries. Just let's get some angels over there to help you. You're good enough. Funny enough, that's what we're going to clear right now. You're good enough to be in this temple. I see a few of you like, I don't know. Is this okay? And I'm here to share with you, it's more than okay. I already asked the Ascended Masters, and they're all, yeah, come on down. We love you all so much. We see what you're going through on earth. Let us help you, please. Okay, good. Everybody's on their healing bed. Perfect. Okay, so the first, and for those of you who haven't listened to the Mother Mary Sacred Heart Flame activations on my website, I can't recommend that ceremony enough. That ceremony was so incredibly powerful. And that was the first time I ever worked with the Order of Sacred Flames with Mother Mary. And so if you want to experience more of this very powerful sacred flame healing that you're about to receive, there's an activation MP3 video on my website that is very affordable. So the first flame, this first flame of Divine Mother's love, these pink flames, Mother Mary her arms are open and she's directing the flame to get larger and larger and literally descend over your body, stretched out across this healing bed. Your body might start to feel like an increase in heat, or it may start to feel like it's cooling down, depending on the effects that the flame are having on you. These flames are transmuting, what I'm hearing from Mother Mary, the ancestral belief systems of unworthiness that have been passed down through your mother's line, through a matriarchal line. It's also clearing out abuses connected to female figures in your life, whether it's this lifetime or others. There's also, this pink flame is seeking to purify the patriarchal wounding and separation that you may be helping humanity heal from through your body. And as those flames are like spiraling through the very center of your being, I'm seeing them spiral like a dragon through your body, these pink flames running right through all of your major chakras, but in a spiral motion with lots of momentum. You're also going to feel that beautiful Divine Mother light water presence cooling and soothing you as well. Like amniotic fluid, just this buoyant connection to the Divine Mother. I'm hearing the message like, I have never left you and I would never leave you. Everywhere you go, I am within you and I am all around you. Remember to turn back to me, Sophia says, again and again, and this world will not be able to deceive you. And so I see the spirit of that dove, that divine feminine Christ transmission of the Holy Spirit descending over each and every person in this prayer call, that Holy Spirit of discernment. How do we discern anything? It's when we return to the truth of how loved we are. Then we can clearly see anything that's not based in love, that's not based in truth. It's through the eyes of divine love that we can see what is no longer serving us, what is a falsehood, what's an illusion. And feeling the wings of that dove, which is what I carved into the Mother Mary pendant, that victorious divine feminine Christ symbol of the Holy Spirit descending into earth within each of us. Like those wings are opening up over your heart, and they're connecting into your own angel wings. So I'm seeing that some of you have felt kind of beat up in your angel wings the past few weeks, given how much light work you've been doing out in the world. Day to day, being a way shower, embodying this much divine love when most people are devoid of not only love for themselves, but respect for one another. And so I invite this presence of the Holy Spirit to deeply mend any places in your wings, to remove any objects of psychic attack, clearing out, deep clearing out of self-doubt. I'm watching Mother Mary bring her hands underneath the back of your head, and there's this blue, okay, she's now channeling that sapphire blue flame energy down. The back of the brain is where we store a lot of memories about shame or unworthiness, and down that medulla oblongata and the brain stem. And she's doing this beautiful neurological clearing. You may start to feel pain, sadness, draining out of your body, going into that crystal healing bed, and you should let it go. You should let it drain out of you. Whatever divine interventions of grace that you can allow yourself to receive right now, this is the time. Soak in that healing crystalline energy, these sapphire blue flames purifying your back from feeling attacked or any feeling of unworthiness or divided against yourself or the confusion of the propaganda. Just let it all go. And I'm witnessing Isis bring those beautiful violet flames that are like literally shooting out of her hands as well, joining with Mother Mary. This is a lot of psychic surgery happening here. And these blue and sapphire blue flames are just rolling through your upper back, down into your lower back, clearing your glutes, clearing down the back of your legs, the back of your knees, and out through your feet chakra. And I'm hearing Isis say the quote from her chapter, "You are a daughter and son of the Most High." Never forget that. That's what the dark agendas on earth are chipping away at. It's what they're trying to confuse us from and away from. But we must remain in the resonance of our sovereign divinity. It's why we mentor with these ascended masters and allow them to help us to create a truly unified, collective, sovereign embodiment of Christ consciousness as the one body of Sophia Christ that will one day release this planet of the need to be punished in that way. I'm also hearing this is one of the messages that Mother Mary had to share with us, is that she was saying, this is why self-love is so radically needed right now. Self-loathing is being scripted into humanity as a species, because if humanity will continue to deepen in self-loathing, it will become the internalized punisher. The outer world won't even have to punish humanity anymore. Humanity will just do it for them, which makes humanity very, very, very submissive. If it's already punishing itself, if it's already censoring itself, if it's already giving away its civil rights because of how much it's addicted to self-loathing, this is why self-love is the sword, the banner, and the shield of faith at this time. And I'm really feeling Joan of Arc coming in right now at this moment to support Mother Mary. Joan of Arc was absolutely obsessed with Mother Mary and Jesus. She was so devoted to them. And she's right here by your side, assisting Mother Mary's activations with the beautiful sapphire flame, and feeling that next level empowerment of your golden dragon light body, your spiritual armor. And then actually everyone in this call surprisingly looks really good. You've been doing a lot of inner work. Overall, I'm seeing so many souls on this call that, yeah, we look a little beat up because there's a lot going on out there that we're a part of transmuting for the planet, but everyone looks really strong. Like, well, okay, so we're checking into the Temple of Isis for a little tune-up here. No problem. We got this. It's exciting to see. Mother Mary and Isis are now both walking, they're bringing themselves across each other from your body, and they are bringing a very deep root chakra cleansing and healing. They're saying that between all of the murder and the rape and the financial uncertainty, there are so many people being triggered so deeply at this time. And it's not just has to do with this lifetime, it actually has to do with Atlantis and Lemuria. And so Isis and Mother Mary, they're placing, if you would like to receive them, placing their hands on either of your hips. And you're going to feel Isis's wings stretch out over your body. And you're going to feel a deep release in your root chakra. For those of you who have a very contracted root chakra, you may feel it open for the first time in a really big way. You may feel something heavy just drop right out of your root chakra. Don't worry, it wasn't even yours anyways. And they're sending that sapphire blue flame into your root chakra. And I'm witnessing that golden flame being called upon from the altar and mixing with the blue and the gold within your root chakra, restoring your faith in divine order, your faith in your direct connection to Sophia as your source for everything you need on the earth plane. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opening up, opening up, opening up, and integrating on all 4 levels of your body. Very powerful root chakra healing happening right now. When we are witnessing so much fear and uncertainty in the human psyche, it's important to understand that humanity is being conditioned to doubt itself. Have you been experiencing doubting yourself more frequently over the past few weeks? Mother Mary is asking you. She's asking you to also consider that you might not be doubting yourself. It might be a propaganda that is being broadcasted across the world for an entire population to doubt itself. You may also feel how much energy is being broadcasted around this world for people to kill themselves. It's important through the Holy Spirit of discernment to really ask yourself every day, is this thought mine? Is this feeling mine? Or does this belong to the collective? Or is this an agenda influencing the collective? And as soon as you even ask that question, consciousness is on the move. It wants to help you shift out of the pain body experience and into the empowerment of your sovereignty. And so at this time, witnessing Mother Mary and Isis placing this very powerful blessing of Sophia, Christ consciousness, over your root chakra to really help protect your root chakra from taking on and identifying with those collective fears and anxieties that would cause you to doubt your divinity, that would cause you to doubt your sovereignty, and that would cause you to doubt your direct connection to the source to receive everything that you need. That blue and that gold, those are very powerful colors of deep, profound faith and trust. What's interesting about when you really step into that sapphire blue flame of divine will, you understand that faith is perfect belief. It's not actually a hope. Hope is a different energy from faith. Faith is a steady, continual state of consciousness in knowing what is true and real about reality. And the only thing that's actually real is divine love. And the only thing that's actually real is that you come from the source. And that means you have the right to resource the source in any world and under any circumstances. You have the ability to create and command miracles beyond what most of that population believes for itself. And you have a moral obligation at this time to believe in yourself for all of our sake. We must stand as an army of light, believing in our direct connection to God, believing in the goodness and holiness of our innate sovereign divinity, of our higher self-consciousness that cannot be confused or misguided by a world beset on destroying itself. We are here to birth beyond that addiction to destruction. We are here as caretakers and stewards, as honorers of life. And so Mother Mary is now bringing her hands right below your navel, and she is lighting that sacred pink flame right up the center of your body and opening up your heart chakra. It's like this rush of holy fire, opening your very core up to the power of the divine feminine, divine masculine Christ within you. And that is absolutely essential for you to believe in your freedom at this time, to live from the freedom of in your mind and in your body. No matter what you have to do in this world to navigate where you're living, depending on the regulations, claim your sovereign divinity and live in the mindset of freedom. Do all things consciously with the flames of God lighting your mind and your heart, bringing purpose and meaning to your every action. Do not allow this world to minimize your actions in any way, to minimize your thoughts or your passions or what you care about. Breathing into those holy flames that are lighting up your heart, activating that free chakra beneath your heart organ. And as Mother Mary tends to those flames and you feel them growing brighter and brighter within you, activating that solar Christos energy at the center of the stargate of your heart, which is what I carved into that pendant I was sharing about earlier, both the flames and the Sophia Christos, that solar transmission from the center of your heart, the sun, all the rays of your own divinity begin to light up every cell of your body. And Isis brings forward an ankh of light And for those of you who are new to this call, the Ankh was like the highest, most sacred symbol of Egypt. And she's placing that symbol at the very center of your heart, and it's spinning within those flames. And although it is still clearing out from every level of your being, anything that you've picked up from the collective or that you're helping to transmute for the collective, this Ankh spinning in the sacred heart flames is simultaneously lighting up your body, heart, and mind with the gifts of your own Holy Spirit, illuminating your psychic centers, purifying your emotional body, softening your mental body to reside in service to your sacred heart, opening your angel wings wider, and feeling the presence of Isis as she's whispering a blessing over your body, heart, and mind, unifying all of these activations within you. You may feel a strengthening, a tightening, a firming of your soul, like a muscle inside your body. Like, oh yeah, that's right. This is who I really am. I don't have to go limp in the fear and anxiety of that world. Shoot, I came here to be an archangel in that world, right? That's what you can tell yourself. I'm witnessing Mary Magdalene and Jesus entering into the pyramid, and Jesus is offering you his hand, and so is Mary Magdalene, to assist you rising up from that crystalline healing bed. And as they do, Mary Magdalene is anointing you with sacred oils on each of your major chakras as Jesus is praying over you and instructing you over how he is protecting you and helping to balance you as you become even more aware of your angelic mission on earth. He's reminding each of us that we are not performing this angelic mission by ourselves. And neither was he and Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary. They all worked together as a family, and they were working with countless souls, both seen and unseen, to balance the scales of reality in their lifetime on earth. And they are helping us do the same. One of the quotes from the Sophia Code that Jesus says is, I create safety for the collective to rise as one body. And that's what each of us are doing in this world. We are creating emotional safety, psychological safety, spiritual safety for others to start critically thinking for themselves, for others to start considering that they are worthy of loving themselves, worthy of the healing journey. And so with Jesus and Mary Magdalene's blessing, I'm witnessing this ceremony come to a close. And as I do, it's interesting, the pyramid structure itself in the seventh plane, along with each of the ascended masters, it's all descending through the seventh plane, down through the sixth, fifth, fourth, third. And now that pyramid is coming over your house to bless your whole house. Or if you're in an office space or a car, I hope you're not driving, but wherever you are, that pyramid energy is coming into the sanctuary of where you are residing in this moment. And that pure frequency of divine order, protection, prosperity, confidence, strength, faith, and courage, filling your home, and now integrating with your physical body in whatever dimensional reality your body is abiding in on this planet. That's where these energies are now coming into unison with and union with. And I invite you to take 3 deep breaths. And to feel how absolutely wonderful it feels to be in communion with these ascended masters, with the light of Sophia filling your home, filling your body, heart, and mind. How wonderful it is that there are souls all over the world participating in this prayer collective call right now with you, that are all experiencing the same feelings. That electro-ecstatic bliss of God consciousness filling their homes and their bodies. And how this is how we birth heaven on earth. We flip the script on a world that would depress its own people, and we birth a world that vibrates in the resonance of our sovereign divinity and the joy that comes from remembering our true inheritance. That is heaven on earth. We are heaven on earth. We are heaven on earth. Our consciousness is of heaven when we practice reconnecting with who and what and where we're really from. And so, with all the love in my heart, with the blessings of the Ascended Masters, we can say together, it is done, it is done, it is done. By the power of three, a perfect Trinity, it is done. And so it is. Amen. If it's possible for you to take some time to rest and continue to integrate with the Ascended Masters following this call, I invite you to take that opportunity. If you have to drive a vehicle following this call, please take a moment to drink water, eat some healthy food, and ground before driving a vehicle. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's always such a pleasure to connect with you. Through our shared oracular activism, we are participating in a channeled experience worldwide that not only impacts our DNA and our cellular intelligence, but it's being broadcasted across all of humanity, both from your participation, from the broadcasts that we're offering. And so thank you for standing wing to wing and heart to heart this evening, wherever you are in the world. Maybe it's the morning where you're calling in from, and caring this much about yourself and others. I'm really excited for our upcoming Sedona conference. We have virtual event access. If you'd like to learn more, we're going to do 8 master sessions with each of the Keycode Ascended Masters for psychic development. And that event's coming up really soon. If you'd like to go deeper with the Ascended Masters and how you are receiving your divine guidance, I'm so excited to be offering this at the end of the month. The timing couldn't be more perfect. I really feel as though this virtual event is going to put the wind back in our sails for getting through the rest of 2020. And I hope you can join us. We do have empowerment payment plans available, and you're welcome to schedule a free Team Angel call if you'd like to learn more, to join us live. And also a replay is included. Lifetime access is included for that event. If you can't be at the actual live broadcast, your enrollment ensures that. We also have Sophia Circle Leadership starting in August 19th. Feel free to reach out to us if you'd like to learn more. We just recorded, we're going to post it. I think this evening or tomorrow, we're going to post our first Sophia Circle Leaders Roundtable, where I got to talk to some of our Sophia Circle leaders around the world who are certified, leading their circles or about to lead their circles. And they shared so many beautiful insights about what they've been offering around the world and how their ministry is going with the Sophia Code. And I had so much fun during that video call. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. Keep your eyes open for your inbox. That's coming to you this evening. So thank you again for all of your loving support of the Sophia Code. It is my greatest honor to be walking the planet with you at this time, wing to wing, heart to heart, activating humanity's sovereign divinity. I'm sending you all my love and all my prayers. Thank you for keeping these sacred heart flames burning bright for our international community and for the world at large. You are incredibly important. And on behalf of the entire Sophia Dragon Tribe, sending out so many blessings, appreciation, and gratitude from our hearts to yours. All my love to you. We'll see you next month and hopefully in Sedona at the end of the month. Have a blessed day or evening wherever you are. Namaste.